Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, where we look at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hey guys, thanks so much for coming back. We are so fortunate to have you listeners. This is Kristen here with my co-hosts Amber and Cindy.
Hello.
Hey.
We're here. We wanted to get a head start on celebrating Galentine's Day. Have you guys ever heard of Galentine's Day?
Well, I've heard of people celebrating Galentine's,
But it's like an actual day now.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It is. It's actually on the 13th, which is the day before Valentine's Day.
So you can get all your girlfriends together and have a Galentine's Day, even if you have a significant other. But even if you don't have a significant other.
I love hanging out with the girls.
Hang out with the girls.
Doing stuff.
I think that it's a really good idea. For me, I spent a lot of Valentine's Days alone, or I had this expectation of what I thought Valentine's Day was supposed to be in, previous relationships. And, when you have this expectation that you're going to be swept off your feet by
never happens.
Someone or your significant other, and they don't meet that expectation.
They forget about it.
Or they just aren't, maybe that creative, or that's just not their way of showing affection.
Mm-hmm. Everybody has a different love language.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, if we all always had that expectation that Valentine's Day is for your significant other to just swoon you, and that's only what that day is for, there is a high percentage of people that actually feel disappointed or alone on Valentine's Day. Because for me, I always felt like that was probably the loneliest day of the year. Thanks for reminding me that I'm single.
Well, I never really felt that way because... I know I've talked about, how my mom liked to spend Christmas before on the blog and on here, but my mom also equally loved every holiday, so she always went out of her way to make my
love.
Dad, my grandma, feel special on Valentine's
I always
Day.
bought the kids Valentine's
Mom always
candy.
gave us Valentine's Day gift. And when you think about it, when you're in school, we teach children to celebrate Valentine's Day, and it's
bring
for
cards.
everyone.
Yeah, bring
they
cards
celebrate
for everybody,
it to everyone.
bring candy for everybody.
And I like the idea of telling everyone how much you love them. It's not about just romantic love. But Valentine's Day
friendship
should be
love, family
love, unconditional love.
Love for pets. I always buy my
different
cats
types of
something.
love. Self-love.
Yes,
so today,
do something for yourself.
Today, since Galentine's Day is just around the corner, we're going to be talking today about self-love and friendship love and the different types of love and how you can express that love to other people in these next coming
things
weeks.
You love to do with your...
Yeah.
And
it's not always about buying somebody something. Yeah, like we were talking about love language. My love language is acts of service. I like to do things for people.
Did you realize, Amber, that your love language is actually a giving love and receiving, and it could be two different things.
Yeah.
So my giving love is actually gifts, and my receiving love is acts of service.
Yeah.
I am actually kind of have two also. I'm really split, but I want to pull up really quick the lists of the different love languages. So y'all keep talking while I'm looking.
Okay. Yeah, and you know what? I like giving gifts also, especially during holidays. Like I talked about making cookies for everybody on my Christmas list.
Right. Well, and that's
Even
something that you got from your mom, too, because your mom loved giving people gifts.
Oh, my gosh,
she
my
made a big
mom
deal of buying everybody, all the gifts for
gave
Christmas.
everybody gifts, even if it was just like a little tiny eraser or whatever. And I actually carry that over to my students. I give them things all of the time, pencils, erasers, notebooks, and I bring little like candies or whatever to them because I love giving gifts. One of my bosses and we always go back and forth buying each other Starbucks. Like once a month, 1 month he will buy me Starbucks, and then another month I will buy him Starbucks. I actually bought him Starbucks the other day. Or we also work right across from 7-Eleven, so it's like, hey, I'm going to 7-Eleven. What do you want?
Back to the love languages. I can definitely tell you which one I am not. And that one is the touch one.
And I'm the opposite because I am. And this caused no end of distress in our family when she was a little girl, because my giving language is physical touch. And I like to pet people's hair and hug and pat on their shoulders and things like that. I kiss my husband's bald head all the time.
That's
and
so
she
awkward.
would just cringe because I wanted to
like,
hold her.
Stop
and cuddle
touching
her.
me.
Yes.
I'm still that way.
But
I don't even like it when someone's leg touches my leg, like near the table, or when their arm brushes against me. It sends me like.
Well, and oddly enough, it
my
is
chair.
not my receiving language, because I don't like. My husband and I have a king size bed. You stay on your side of the bed. Do not touch me, because I don't want to be touched while I'm sleeping. I don't want to be touched in a chair. I don't want to be crowded with other people. And I don't like people to hug me unless they are really, really, close to me.
Close in your circle.
My son gives hugs all the time, and I do love to hug him. But I don't hug other people. I don't hug friends. I do have friends who are huggers, and they come to hug me, but I generally do not hug other people.
That's because your giving love is touch. So,
which is the thing I don't like, but I recognize that other people do.
No, what I'm saying though is that if you think about it in the form of love and showing someone affection, you wouldn't just walk up to some stranger and give them a French kiss.
Well, that is
right?
true.
But that's a form of...
I mean, in France, they would.
Right. But that's a form of touch and showing love.
Right.
So for you, it's very intimate to show people that you love them by touch. So that's your immediate family, your children and your spouse.
So that is my boundary. Yes. My friends, I touch.
Right. And that shows that level of love, that if you were to give someone a hug, that means you really do love them.
Yes. Yes. Now my receiving things, I kind of, I don't know. Is it weird to say that I'm a little bit of all four? So I wanted to pull these up so we could talk about what they are, because some people may not be familiar with them. So the first one is words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. So giving people a pat on the back verbally, or whatever. Acts of service, doing things willingly to help other people. Receiving gifts. So that's really the receiving end of it. That people buy you things and you feel loved by them.
Yeah.
Quality time, by spending quality time with people, and then the physical touch. So I love receiving gifts, like especially if they're just out of the blue. And I like acts of service a lot, but I'm still kind of, I don't know. For me, like with our family, one of the things that we do as a family, as a love thing, is the quality time. And we have a family game night. I can't remember if I've ever mentioned that before or not, but once a month we started doing this thing called a family game night so that we could all have quality family time together. And, everybody, all the immediate family is invited to come play board games or whatever for the day. And we call it family game night, but it really starts at like 2 p.m. But, because some of those games take all dang day.
We're actually board game enthusiasts.
Yeah, so they take hours and hours. But so anyway, that quality time is also a love language. I feel
showing up to it.
Yes, because
you know what, that makes a lot of sense, because Travis actually showed up one night to family game night. I couldn't be there, and I remembered you saying how much it meant to you that he came.
Anyway, without Kristen and without Raina, he just came and that showed me that he was really becoming part of the family, that he was willing to come spend time with me and Mark and Ashley and everything without Kristen, that he felt comfortable enough with us to do that, because they've only been married for a little over a year.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been a member of the family for very long, but that was really touching to me, that he felt comfortable enough to do that. And it's one of the things that angers me the most about my son, because he often bails on those things.
Yeah.
and it's kind of hurtful, because then I think, well, does he really care about us if he's not? But obviously, quality time is not his love language.
Right. I think his is hugs, because whenever you do see him, he gives you like the longest
biggest bear hugs.
The
and
biggest
he's just the cuddliest kid.
And he shakes you and
yes,
dances with you in a hug, and you're just like, where did you come from?
I know, he is very physical touch, because
hugger.
Yeah, he is.
So that's definitely something to think about, your love language to like your friends and your family, especially during this time of year, because sometimes it is kind of sad for some people, to make sure you tell everybody that you love them and celebrate everyone, like your students, showing them that you appreciate them during Valentine's, definitely, by giving them cute pencils and erasers. And, for me in the office place, right now with COVID, we're all working from home. But when we did work in the office, we always did something fun for Valentine's Day. I remember we had like this employee engagement team that I was on with some of like the management and stuff. And we would plan certain events. And I thought, like, wouldn't it be fun if we had like Valentine's Day, like school again, where everyone had like a little box or a bag and people could bring Valentine's. And I remembered when I was in 4th grade, we had a Valentine's box card decorating contest, and Mom took like a Wipes box and like decorated it, and it was like the coolest looking thing.
In school too.
Right? It was so fun. And I thought, wouldn't that be fun if we did that at work? Make a little contest. So we had like 80 people, and the rule was that it had to be the brown paper sack.
Oh,
and so we had the coolest decorated bags, and then people could opt in or out or whatever. Almost every single person had a paper sack with something on it, and everyone just got a chance to go and give out Valentine's. Everybody participated, and that was really neat. There was awesome. So many people that I didn't know at my workplace that actually like
knew who you
thought
were.
about me, and like some of them actually like sat down and wrote cards, like little, with a pencil.
Something
and they would
thoughtful.
have like a little piece of paper, attached to the pencil. And it was like, Kristen, I really appreciate your enthusiasm in the office. Happy Valentine's Day. And it was just like, that is so neat. Like, I felt loved when I left work that day, even though I went home and it was single, I was probably like on a Tuesday night, and it was kind of a lonely day after, I was expecting it to be, but I left work, feeling, high vibes, because I got a lot of love from people at work.
My work actually does something like that, but instead of Secret Santa, we call it Secret Cupid.
Oh, yeah,
and so
fun.
Cupid leaves little presents all week
before Valentine's
Day.
That's
cool.
Day,
that is really cool.
One day it's a card, another day it's a candy, another day it's like a lunch item, and it's really fun, and people at work really get into it.
That's cool. Yeah, that you could do that with like your Galentines too. If you had a large group of girls that you hang out with, like your
send each other presents, like anonymous presents.
Oh yeah,
like
leave them
draw
on their
names.
ding dong ditch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, back when I lived in Denton, I was a member of this girls group in Denton, and we had this thing called and it was around Valentine's Day last year. This one girl came up with having a thing called the wine fairy. And so it was a ding dong ditch where we would leave a bottle of wine on another girl's porch.
How fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, that's something fun you could do for Galentine's, even if you couldn't get all of your friends together, especially the way things are with COVID. You could, just share some love with your friends or certain people in your life.
Awesome. Yeah, because I do miss getting together with my girlfriends. Kristen and I both scrapbook, and so, we quilt and stuff. And so we used to do a lot more activities out in public where we would get together and do things with our girlfriends. And then we also would sometimes do like girls' movie night. And we would pick a movie, and then we would all go to dinner and then go see the movie together. And, I kind of miss doing things like that. So doing a little, just a little going around the neighborhood and dropping something on someone's door. We used to have something when I crocheted, and they called it like a random acts of kindness or something, and you would just make something for someone and go leave it or mail it to them anonymously.
Oh, fun.
And that was kind of fun too, because you just drop something in the mail for somebody, and they never knew who it was from, but the instructions were to pass the kindness on to somebody else. And so you're getting a little bit of love from somebody, you just don't know who.
Right. And then you get to give love. So you're putting like that energy back
out. The more love you give, the more you get.
Right. You're putting it back out into the world.
And even if you don't have a significant other or friends that want to get together on Galentine's Day, there are other ways that you could do great for yourself, like self-love. Go and get a pedicure, or go and volunteer somewhere.
And religious, if you have spiritual love too, if you have a deep religious faith of some sort, doing something that is tied to that is also another great way to show love. Right. Because most religions have some sort of tenet about love and kindness within their religion. So doing something to help the homeless or the poor, or
else.
Like love thy neighbor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the idea of self-love too, because you cannot effectively love someone else without being able to love yourself.
That is absolutely true.
And on Valentine's Day, obviously, if you don't love yourself and you are lonely on Valentine's Day, that just makes a wreck. You're going to be sad.
People can tell, like, if you don't love yourself, that attracts the wrong kinds of people.
It does. Because who's going to love you if you don't even love yourself?
Yeah,
right,
only the wrong kind of people will love you.
And you know what? This is actually really interesting too, because I have been just thinking about self-love a lot lately, because it's been like kind of a buzzword in the past few years. Self-love has become
self-care, self-love.
Yeah, yes. Self-love and self-care. Self-care has especially become a big word, a buzzword. But self-love, I had a hard time understanding like exactly what self-love was, but once I figured out what it wasn't, then I understood what self-love was. So let me just tell you what self-love isn't, from what I picked up from myself. Say you have your loved one, your best friend, or your significant other, or your soulmate, whoever, your best friend, your sibling, anybody. Would you say the things that you say to yourself to them? And if they made the same mistakes that you made, would you treat them the way that you treat yourself? If you wouldn't say those things to their face that you say to yourself, then that is where you need to work on your self-love. If you look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I'm so ugly, I hate myself, you would never ever say that to the person that you love, like your best friend.
And you wouldn't allow someone else to say that to
Absolutely,
them either. So why
you
would
wouldn't.
you allow someone to say that to you?
And why? Yes, exactly. You wouldn't allow yourself or someone else in your life to treat you that way. And that's also another part of self-love, is setting that boundary where you know where your self-respect is and how others should treat you too. So that's, an important part of self-love, is allowing yourself to be loved the proper way. So when I understood what self-love wasn't, then I was able to understand what self-love is. It is forgiveness, acceptance, taking care of yourself, because you would take care of your loved one. If they were sick, you would want to give them everything that they need,
properly,
help them with the bath,
shower,
whatever, taking care of them.
Take care of yourself.
And that's where I guess the self-care comes in for self-love, because you care about those you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you should love yourself. So you should love yourself. So you should take care of yourself. Don't neglect yourself. And I think a lot of people,
I think a lot of women put
they put themselves last,
and they take care of everybody else instead of taking care of themselves.
I work in the dental industry, and I do a lot of appointment scheduling for people who are scheduling their first visit. And a lot of times the mom will call and she'll have like her husband and her, 4 kids or whatever that she's scheduling. And I'll get her kids scheduled, and I'll get the husband scheduled, and I'll be like, well, what about you? Are you ready to come in too? I can go ahead and set you up since you're already coming in. And they're like, oh no, I need to get everybody else taken care of first. And I'm like, don't let it go too far. Your kids, they'll be easy. Children, they come in and they get their exam and their cleanings and they're done. But you want to make sure that you give yourself as much attention too, because if you have a toothache, you cannot take care of them. Yeah. Because you can't think of anything else except your toothache.
You can't take care of your family if you don't take care of yourself
and
first.
That's just a one little thing.
And that's just like the airplane, the instructions they give you in the airplane when the oxygen mask drop down. Put the mask on yourself first and then worry about everybody else. So that's
the epitome of self-love right there.
It is. It really is. You've got to take care of yourself, because you cannot take care of everybody else if you don't take care of yourself first. So you must eat right. You must get enough sleep. You need to get enough exercise. You need to give yourself the space or the patience or the meditation or the private time or the away time to do the things that you need to do to fill up your cup. Before you can pour out of your cup into someone else's.
You cannot pour from an empty vessel.
Yes,
and that's definitely like the same that I found with teaching. If I don't take care of myself, then I will show up to work grouchy, and then, where can we go from there? Because the kids will sense that I'm in a bad mood, and then they're not going to want to be productive, and I'm not going to want to be productive. So I have to take the time out of my day to take care of myself, get enough sleep, eat a proper dinner, take a long bath at least once a week. I definitely have a ritual where I do that, or schedule time with my friends.
Yes, absolutely.
Like Galentine's Day.
Yeah.
Just like Galentine's Day.
I think we need to have a Galentine's Day.
I know, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I had never even heard of that until Amber mentioned it.
We should go to dinner and drinks or something.
Oh, and then we can give each other a little Valentine's.
Yeah, we could go back to dinner and a movie.
Yeah. And give each other little Valentines.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd love to hear it if you guys celebrate Galentine's Day or you do something extra special this February for yourself for Valentine's Day. What did you treat yourself with? We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, and definitely we'd love to hear some ideas for Galentine's with your friends. Like I want to challenge our listeners to do something with their friends for Galentine's Day.
Extra special, even
and then
if
tell
it's
us about
virtual.
Take pictures.
Tell us.
Share it with us on the Facebook chat group.
Yes.
You can find all those links on our website, modernmusings.net.
Yes.
And we want to hear from you.
definitely.
So let's thank Red Door Studios, Creative Audio Tech, and Rimshot Graphics. We're gonna give them some Galentine's love too. I guess that would be Galentine's love.
Yeah, Galentine's.
guys.
Now they have to come up with Galentine's.
I'm like, I can't even say that.
Weird.
I just said some other thing a second ago. I'm like, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed.
That does sound. Oh my gosh, that does sound really weird. now that you mention it.
Okay, so anyway, that was really off skewed there. Let's hear from you, and we're gonna be back next week with what are we here with next week?
I think we're going to be talking about vision boards.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I started doing vision boards with one little word. And also Christine Kane. I think I've mentioned her many times over. She's one of my favorite podcasters and bloggers. She started out as a blog. Now she also podcasts. And she's always talking about up-leveling your life. And vision boards are a great way to visualize what you want to manifest in your life. And that's what we're going to be talking about. And all week long, different ways that you can do it. Different kinds of vision boards, how they work, and just everything from there. So I'm really excited.
That's part of our Goals Girlfriend segment.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It'll be another part of that.
More
so
goal
if you're
setting.
into the goal setting or you want to know more about it, definitely that one is one to
tune
check
into
into.
that.
Mm-hmm. And we'll have stuff on the blogs too with some actual visual examples since we can't
examples of
visualize
vision
the
boards.
vision boards on the podcast, but we'll have those on the blogs and you can check it out there. And so until next week, adios.
Bye. Have a great week.
Check you later.